Set during the early Northern Song Dynasty, around AD 986 in northeastern China, the movie opens with a striking retribution scene. The two brothers, Yang Yanxi and Yang Yanzhao, are publicly punished for their transgression against the law, which brings disgrace upon their families. The consequence of their actions is severe. Each man receives a sentence of 30 lashes. Next, the story takes us back to a peaceful scene where Yanzhao and Princess Chai lie together in the open fields. Surrounded by nature, they relax and talk honestly about their hopes and wishes. Against his father's strict orders, young Yanzhao insists on joining the competition, bringing along his skilled younger brother, Yang Yanxi. Their fight leads to a tragic accident. A collision with a marble bottle results in the death of Pan Bao. This marks the beginning of a series of disasters for General Yang and his 7 sons. Yang executes the 30 whiplashes to his young sons as punishment. In the emperor's palace, shattered by the tragedy, Pan Bao's family accuses General Yang's son of causing his death. Refusing to come to terms with their loss, they appeal to the emperor to punish the entire Yang family. Amidst the tension, Princess Chai stands by her beloved Yang Yanzhao, urging the Pan family to accept the competition's outcome despite the tragedy. Suddenly, soldiers report that Khitan troops have launched an attack, shocking the emperor. He orders General Yang to lead 60,000 of his best troops. Unexpectedly, Pan Bao requests to command the army in the impending war. His true intention is to exact revenge on General Yang for his son's death. The emperor recalls a battle 10 years ago, when General Yelu and his troops were defeated by General Yang Mi. It turns out Yuan is the son of General Yelu, seeking revenge for his father's death. Reluctantly, the emperor grants Pan Bao's request, appointing him as the army commander and assigning General Yang to lead the front line. General Yang, renowned for his strategic prowess, stands in contrast to General Pan, who lacks battlefield experience. Meanwhile, General Yang's wife is deeply worried about her husband's safety, especially with General Pan's desire for revenge against Yang. Concerned for their father, General Yang's 7 sons decide to join him on the front lines to protect him. On the battlefield, despite his advancing age, General Yang courageously led his troops into battle. As the two armies clashed, his years of experience were overshadowed by a lack of strategic foresight and ineffective leadership, causing chaos within the ranks of the Song army. This led to a decisive victory for the Khitan forces, pushing General Yang and his men into a desperate situation. Trapped behind enemy lines in an abandoned town near Wolf Mountain, the Khitan army surrounded them, blocking any chance of escape. Pan, consumed by a desire for revenge, callously refused to send troops to rescue General Yang. Despite being wounded by an arrow, General Yang managed to devise a daring escape plan. Unexpectedly, General Yelu Yuan's troops suddenly began to withdraw, possibly as part of a tactical maneuver. Seizing this fleeting opportunity, General Yang rallied his remaining troops and led them on a daring dash to safety at Wolf Mountain. Deeply troubled by a terrifying nightmare that haunted her sleep, General Yang's wife sought counsel from her spiritual advisor, desperate for insights into her husband's fate. The advisor, known for his prophetic visions, delivered a chilling prediction. Only 6 of her beloved children would survive the imminent war. This grim prophecy weighed heavily on her heart, intensifying her fears for her family's safety. Reluctantly, she confided in her eldest son, Yang Ping, who was determined to defy fate and rescue his father, despite the perilous circumstances. Ping reassured his mother, promising to protect his younger brothers and ensure everyone's safe return. Before they departed, their mother imparted clear instructions to her sons: keep their father safe at all costs and bring him home. Led by the eldest son, Yang Yanping, the 7 brothers, among them the 2 youngest who had never fought before, embarked on a perilous mission accompanied by a small group of elite Yang clan soldiers. Their daunting goal was to carve a path through thousands of enemy troops to reach the fortress at Wolf Mountain. As they rode towards the battlefield, they passed through a harrowing landscape strewn with corpses and blood, a grim testament to the ferocity of the conflict. Yang Yanping, seasoned by years of training in battle, led his brothers and their soldiers with determination and courage. Along the way, they faced countless challenges, employing clever tactics, such as hurling burning oil to disperse their enemies, and utilizing their exceptional fighting skills to break through and defeat the Khitan troops that stood in their way. Yuan Yelu's advisor argued that sacrificing the troops wasn't worth it just to defeat the Yang clan, especially after witnessing the brothers' breakthrough. But Yuan Yelu countered, stating that defeating the Yang clan meant vanquishing the heart of the Song army. General Pan received an order from the emperor to support General Yang and lead his troops to Wolf Mountain. However, driven by cunning and the desire for revenge over his son's death at the hands of Yang Sout, General Pan hesitated to assist and wrote a letter back to the emperor instead. General Yang and his troops fortified themselves within Wolf Mountain, closing the gates. When offered food, General Yang refused to eat, aware of the dire shortages they faced. Upon their arrival at Wolf Mountain, they found General Yang, who revealed that he had refrained from attacking the enemy. Yang instructed instructed Ping to lead his brothers to safety, but they refused, resolved to stand by their father in his time of need. Witnessing their father's wounded state, Yang Mulang immediately began to administer treatment. Meanwhile, Yang Yanci, recognizing the urgency of the situation, bravely decided to seek assistance from Pan Bao, despite the risks involved in approaching their former enemy. Leaving his brothers and their soldiers to guard their father, Yang Yanci set off on a dangerous journey towards Pan Bao's camp, hoping to negotiate for aid that could save General Yang's life. Suddenly, their hideout came under attack as large stones hurled by Khitan troops startled General Yang's soldiers and his 6 sons. The Khitan army then bombarded them with catapults and launched a fierce assault. Yelu subsequently commanded his troops to attack General Yang's forces, sparking a tense battle. Despite being outnumbered by the Khitan troops, General Yang's 6 sons fought fiercely. Eventually, they successfully escaped Wolf Mountain with their father. Disappointed by their failure to kill General Yang and his sons, Yelu and the Khitan troops departed. Riding on horseback, the 6 sons attempted to bring their father home, but General Yang's condition deteriorated. He appeared extremely weak. On his deathbed, General Yang made a solemn vow to Yanzi that he would marry Princess Chai. Heart heavy with sorrow and fueled by a thirst for justice, Yanzi marched towards the gate, his determination unwavering. Confronting Pan Bao, his emotions overflowed like a torrent, his anger unrestrained. Despite being in the throes of grief over his son's demise, Pan Bao, consumed by bitterness, refused to recognize Yanci, accusing him of being an imposter. In a cruel twist of fate, arrows descended upon Yanci as Pan Bao commanded his soldiers to silence him forever, their intent clear and deadly. Meanwhile, General Yang, teetering between life and death, had a vision of his old teacher, who posed a choice: to embrace life or to embrace death. General Yang, with his life's purpose seemingly fulfilled, chose the latter. General Yang's wife was alone in her chamber when a messenger arrived with urgent news. The messenger proceeded to deliver Lord Pan's report. The situation in Wolf Mountain was dire, and he couldn't send troops to aid her husband. The news weighed heavily on her heart. Overwhelmed with sadness upon hearing about the danger her husband faced, she collapsed under the weight of the message, filled with worry and fear for his safety. Upon learning of their father's death, his 6 sons were overcome with sorrow. However, they were determined to fulfill his final wish, to bring his body home to their grieving mother. They decided to send the corpse on a horse, accompanied by one of the brothers. Under the continuous attacks of the Khitan troops, led by the strong and skilled Yelu, the situation became worse and worse. Yang Yanzi was alone, as his brothers and father had been sent away. Using all his strength and courage, he fought the Khitan soldiers bravely. Despite his best efforts, he was outnumbered and eventually killed by Yelu Yuan. Shortly after Yang Yanzi's tragic death, his brother Yang Erlang arrived on the battlefield, not knowing what had happened to his sibling. Driven by a strong desire to help, he attacked the Khitan troops fiercely. However, fate was also cruel to him. During the battle, Yang Erlang received a severe chest wound and eventually died, meeting the same tragic end as his brother. The Khitan troops relentlessly pursued General Yang's family, who were desperately seeking safety. They found temporary refuge in a signal tower, where the local villagers came to aid. These villagers helped to deceive the Khitan troops, creating a ruse that allowed General Yang's family to hide and evade capture for a while longer. Yang Xilang and Yang Mulang bravely engaged the Khitan troops in battle, fighting with all their energy into the battle. Despite their bravery, they were heavily outnumbered and eventually overpowered by the relentless enemy forces. Although their efforts were courageous, both brothers were killed in the fierce confrontation, and their bodies tragically fell into the river. With the loss of Yang Xilang and Yang Mulang, only 2 of General Yang's sons remained alive. In a grassy field, Yang Sang faced off against a Khitan soldier. Both archers showed remarkable skill, firing arrows at each other with precision. Yang Sang was hit by an arrow and fell, but he managed to pull it out and, with a final act of defiance, shot the Khitan soldier straight in the eye, killing him. However, General Yelu quickly responded, and Yang Sang was ultimately killed by the leader's swift attack. Now, only Yang Yanja was left, carrying the heavy burden of his father's body. As they made their way home, hoping to finally reach safety, Yelu caught up with them. A tense and desperate battle erupted between Yang Yanzhao and Yelu, each showing incredible skill and fierce determination. As the fight wore on, Yanzhao began to gain the upper hand. Despite having the chance, he chose not to kill Yelu. However, as Enzo turned to leave, Yelu attempted a surprise attack from behind. In a dramatic moment, Yanzhao swiftly grabbed a spear and killed Yelu just in time, saving himself from the treacherous strike. Yang Yanzhao, with immense effort and determination, managed to bring his father's body back home. Upon arriving, he was greeted by his grieving mother, Ijun, and his distraught lover. The sight of her husband's lifeless body and the news of losing 6 of her beloved sons overwhelmed Ijun with profound sorrow. It was later revealed that the initial message was indeed correct. It foretold that Yang Yanzhao, the 6th son, would return and surpass his siblings with a destiny of great significance. He arrived bearing his father's body, his brother's weapons, and the severed head of Yelu Yuan. Although the bodies of 4 of Yang Ye's sons were recovered, 2 remained missing. Following the funerals of his father and brothers, Yang Yanzhao married Chai Meirong. His decisive victory over Yelu Yuan redeemed his father's inability to halt the Khitan army, prompting the Khitan empress to cease her assault on the Song Empire in the wake of her general's defeat. Thanks to the brave deeds of Yang Ye's sons, Yang Yanzhao ascended to his late father's position as a general, and the Yang clan earned a legendary reputation throughout China. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.